Oh, hey, class! So, as you might remember, my project is about bathroom issues in high school because I never got enough to drink in high school because I was too worried about having to pay to use the restroom. Anyways, so the name of my project is Relaxing Restroom Policies to Increase Student-Teacher Trust and to Decrease Student Anxiety. I had to put a little bit more serious stuff in it, so it actually made sense. Thank you, Dr. Yee. So the literature review, there wasn't a ton of research on this subject because it is really narrow and a lot of people haven't done research on it. But what I did find is that mistrust between teachers and students usually occurs because of strict classroom policies. So in this case, it includes strict restroom policies. Students perform better when they trust their teachers, and then not being able to use the restroom causes students to be dehydrated. And then there's lots of research on how dehydration limits cognitive functioning. And then I thought it was interesting that most teachers entered the field of education with little knowledge on how to actually manage troubling behaviors in the classroom. And so they put in strict policies just to take care of the problem, kind of put a Band-Aid on the problem instead of actually digging to the root issue of what's going on. My hypothesis is that having teachers relax their restroom policies will increase student-teacher trust and decrease student anxiety when it comes to using the restroom. So my design is a single subject design, like all of ours were. I surveyed one high school classroom at Layton High. I just picked an old teacher that I had that I knew she had strict bathroom policies. So I measured, there were 4 data points, and I did 2 student interviews and then 1 teacher interview, and then I surveyed 28 students. So the students rated from 1 to 10 their anxieties of trust and anxiety. So 1 for trust, 1 for anxiety. And I had the teacher remove the restroom policies for 30 days. So I did like a baseline, like right when I went in and surveyed, and then 3 times after that. So the independent variable was teacher education in the bathroom policies. I did educate the teacher about how dehydration and strict bathroom policies impacts for students. And then the dependent variables were student anxiety and trust between the student and the teacher. So the scale that I used was kind of like a Likert type scale developed by Renesis Likert, ordinal level of measurement, and then the items measured were student anxiety regarding the ability to use the restroom and the level of trust the student has with the teacher. So just again, there's 1 teacher at Layton High that I used in my study, and then the outcome variables of anxiety and trust were measured 4 times over a 30-day period after the teacher took away the bathroom policies that she had in place. And then the surveys that the kids filled out took them about 2 minutes, so it was really fast. So there were 28 students in the class that I surveyed, ages 16 to 17. There were 18 females and 10 males in 11th grade at Layton High School. The findings of the study, so I actually printed some stuff out. So this is the graph for the trust levels. So these are the 4 data points. So trust was at a 5, and then it went to a 4, and then a 3, and then a 6, with 10 being high for trust and 0 being for low trust. So trust went up a little bit, but really not that much. It really only went up by 1 point. So I think it would be better to have it be students respecting their teacher, because the kids talked about that instead of trust. So then with the anxiety levels, 0 was no anxiety, 10 was high anxiety. So it started out at 7, and then 7, and then 5, and then 4. So anxiety about asking to use the restroom, using the restroom did go down. So that was good, at least. I felt like this research study would have been better if there would have been a bigger sample size, like a whole school or maybe a couple of different high schools with all the students, just to get a really big picture of it. I didn't take into account any antecedent events, so like teachers having a bad day or students being stressed that day when they took the survey. And I think it would be better. It would be better to survey more than one age group also. And that is everything. Thanks, guys.